Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we are going to create a controlled RGB LED using the joystick and the potentiometer. So we'll be able to control our RGB LED, which we have talked about in the previous videos, using our joystick, which is basically two potentiometers, to control the red and the green intensity. And we will use the potentiometer to control the blue color intensity. So to make this project, you will need the Arduino board. Of course, you need an RGB LED, the joystick and the potentiometer. We're going to use the breadboard to make the connections with the jumper wires. Of course, you will need 3 ohm resistors to protect the LED. And if you didn't watch my videos about the RGB LED or any of these components, you can check them out. I'm gonna add the links under the video description. And if you didn't subscribe yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so that you get notified when I release a new video. And let's jump right into it. First, let's start by connecting our RGB LED. As you can see, we have 4 pins, R, G, B, and the G and D. So let's plug it on the breadboard. The G and D pin is on the left side. Let's connect it to the G and D of our Arduino board. So let's go from this pin to the G and D on this side. So this board contains 3 G and D pins. We're going to use one for the RGB LED and the other 2 pins for the joystick and the potentiometer. So you don't need to create a ground rail. But this board comes with one pin that has the 5 volts. So we need to create a 5 volts rail, and it's very easy to create. I'm gonna take this jumper wire and let's go from the 5 volts to one of the points on the breadboard. I'm selecting the red line. Now we can use all of these points as 5 volts. I'm gonna put it on the other side, but it doesn't matter because I want to make things cleaner. Now let's go back to our RGB LED. You will need to connect these 3 ohm resistors to connect the RGB LEDs. Then we need to connect these leads to our pins. And let's start with the red. I'm gonna go from this side to the pin number 9. And you notice that the RGB LED is working. That's because we have programmed this board from the previous video to work with the RGB LED. So if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. Then I'm gonna go from the green pin to the pin number 10. And finally, let's connect the blue with the pin number 11. Now we'll be able to control these 3 colors using the joystick and the potentiometer. But the value that we're gonna read from the joystick or the potentiometer is between 0 and 1023. We need to convert it to a value between 0 and 255. And before we start coding, let's connect our joystick. And as you can see, I have connected the first 4 pins. We just need the G and D, the 5 volts. Of course, we need the VRX and the VRY to control the red and the green colors. So let's start by connecting the G and D, which is the brown wire. So let's take the brown wire and connect it to the G and D of the Arduino, and the red one to the 5 volts using this rail. And finally, we will connect the VRX and the VRY. So the VRX is the orange color. I'm gonna use A0 to control the red color using VRX, and A1 to get the VRY and control the green intensity. And that's all what we need for the joystick. And let's stick with that for now. So we'll be able to control the red color using the VRX and the green color using the VRY. And to do that, let's open up the Arduino IDE and let's add the variables that we need. like the RGB pins. Let's start with the red pin which is number 9. Then we have the green pin, number 10. And finally we have the blue pin, equals 11. Of course we need the X and the Y pins using int X pin. And we are using A0 for the X value and A1 for the Y value. Then under the setup function, we need to use the pin mode. So we are using these 3 pins as an output to control the RGB LED. Let's pass in the red pin, then output, and the same thing for the other colors. But we have to use the X and the Y pins as an input to read the voltage. Using pin mode, we give it the X pin, then input to read the analog voltage, and the same thing for the Y pin. And you notice that I'm writing a little bit faster. That's because we have talked about these components from the previous videos. Then under the loop function, let's use analog read. We give it the X pin, and this returns a value between 0 and 1023. We need to map it to a value between 0 and 255, and the easiest way to do that is by using the map function. So this is a built-in command that takes the value that we want to change, which is the X value that we are reading from the X pin, and it's between 0 and 1023, and we need to change it to a value between 0 and 255 to control the red color. Of course, you could create a variable for the X value, but it's not needed. You can put it like this, and we're going to use the value that this function returns to control the red color. Let's create a variable for it, which is an int, and let's call it red intensity. Then let's assign it using red intensity equals the map function. And with the same way, we can read the green value. So I'm going to copy this line of code, and let's create a new variable. I'm going to call it green intensity. Then let's assign it. And finally, let's control our RGB LED using the analog write command. So this function takes the pin number, which is the red pin. Then let's give it a value, which is the red intensity. Then let's change the value of the green using analog write. It takes the green pin, then the green intensity. But here I spell it wrong. Here we have A. It's analog write. Now we can verify our code. So we didn't have errors. Let's upload the code. And let's try to rotate the joystick. But I think it's not working as expected. Actually, I have made a mistake. So here let's change this to the Y pin. We are reading the green intensity from the Y pin and the red intensity from the X pin. Make sure to change that. And let's re-upload the code. And there you go. Now we'll be able to control the color. And let me add this seashell to make it a little bit cooler. And let's try to rotate it on the X, which controls the red intensity. If we go all the way to the right, we have a green color. That's because the red intensity is 0. We can mix both of these to create a yellow color. And with the same way, we can use our potentiometer to change the blue intensity. I'm not going to do that because it's going to make the project a little bit messy. And it's your homework to add the potentiometer and play with the blue color. For now, we can only control the red and the green intensity. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any question or comment, make sure to write it under the comment section down below. Also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. I appreciate that. and I will see you in the next one.